Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Newcomers meeting. My name is Anita, and I'll be facilitating for today. I have dropped the link to the minutes in the chat. Please do also write your name in the attendance. Yeah, while we do an introduction. Okay, I'll start and we'll go in circles. Once I'm done, I'll tag the next person and we'll continue till the circles complete. So my name is Anita Human, I'm meshmate, and I'll be facilitating for today. I've been contributing to the community for some time, and I'm a front-end developer and developer advocate. Okay, so over to you, Nico. I hope I got the pronunciation right.
Yes, it was right.
Awesome.
So hello everyone. I'm Niku Singh. I'm from NIT Jalandhar. Currently, I'm in second year, and about what I'm learning is Merge Stack, and I wish to contribute to that project. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome to the community. Just call out anyone to go next.
Okay. Aditya, I would call out Aditya.
Well, for kind information, I would like to introduce myself to you guys. So, hello everyone. I'm Aditya, and I've been a contributor at Layer5 for the past 10 months. And I'm working at Measure Docs and Measure Ctl stuff. And yeah, about my tech stack, my tech stack is C++, Python, JavaScript, and recently Jekyll. And so yeah, it's nice to meet you newcomers. Welcome to the community.
Thank you for that, Aditya. Can you just quickly tag someone else?
Yeah, I would like Vedant to introduce himself.
Thanks, Aditya. Hello, everyone. My name is Vedant Kakade, and I'm a junior pursuing computer engineering from India. And I have been contributing to the Kubernetes project, and I am happy to be here. I joined the last meeting where Lee was mentioning some issues and all, and I was lucky that he shared one small change in the roadmap file, and I did that. So contributing by attending just one meeting, so it was a really big thing for me, like getting started in this community. So yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Well, it's good to have you in the community, Vedant. Can you please tag someone else to join us? You can just call anyone in the assembly list, anyone at all. Okay, I'll do the calling. Bami, can you please do a quick intro? Okay. I don't think she can hear us.
Hi, I am Bami. You can hear me, right?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Bami from Nigeria. I've been in the community for I don't know, but I don't think it's up to 10. It's up to a year and 10 months. But I think it's over a year. I've been contributing to little projects. And my tech stack I do Python and front end with React. I do a lot of documentation. I mean, a little of documentation. And yeah, I write. That's it. Thank you.
All right, it was good to hear from you, Bami. Can you please call someone to join
So
in?
I'll be calling well, Ganesh, is that it? Ganesh?
Yes, Ganesh speaking.
All
Hi,
right.
everyone.
So I'm calling Ganesh.
Yeah, hi. I'm Ganesh. I'm working as a Windows and VMware administrator in Accenture for the past 5 years, and I'm totally new to
Wow.
coding. And this is the first time I'm looking into open source. So I found initially very interesting. So that's the reason why I've joined this newcomers call, so that I can get to know more about the project and find ways in which I can contribute to it.
All right, awesome. Well, it's a good thing you joined. You're going to see a lot of things happening in the community in a bit. So we have one more person. I can pronounce your name, like Shia. I don't know, did I get the pronunciation right?
Yeah,
If I
yeah,
got
it's
it wrong.
yeah,
Okay. All
yeah.
right.
So I'm Lakshya, and I am a junior year computer science student at Indian Institute of Technology. And yeah, I currently am a LFX mentee, so I am looking at all the cloud native technology. And Meshri caught my eye, so that's why I'm here. And looking forward to learn more.
Okay. Oh, well, that was good to hear from you, like Shia. I think we got everyone on the call right now. So we're going to be fast about the introduction to Layer 5 and the quick walkthrough, because we have a demo that we're going to be going over today by Aditya. So stay tuned and look forward to that. All right, so this is on the Layer 5 Newcomers call. This call takes place every Thursday by this time, and this call is not strictly for newcomers, as you can see. Some persons have been in the community, but then they're here with us today. So we talk about everything and anything. We give you a quick run through about Layer 5 and the project, and give you the resources that you need, answer your questions, take your suggestions and your thoughts. Yeah, everything basically happens on this call, and you're all welcome on the call today. If you haven't already, please do well to fill in the community member form. This will give you access to all our documents on the Google Drive. So if you don't have access to this file, it's probably because you haven't filled in this community member form. So please do well to do that. And moving forward, yes. So if you're a newcomer, you need to this call, you can suggest new issues and enhancements to our project. If you come across anyone, you can do that by dropping it on the call here or on Slack, or creating an issue. So just feel free and go ahead and get your hands dirty with the projects. And also, if you've gone through our resources, you must have seen the word meshmates in one page or another, or heard of it in Slack. Well, the meshmates are basically those. I don't know if I'm sharing my screen. Okay, I wasn't. Give me a sec. All right. I always have so many tabs open. Yes, so a meshmate is basically your guardian angel in Layer 5 community. They help you with every questions and directions that you need and clear doubts about anything in the community. So you can take them as your guardian angels. There are a number of meshmates listed out here. So you can reach out to any of these persons via Slack or on Discourse or chat them up personally, but you're all welcome to reach out to meshmates when you have questions or doubts and you need answers for that. You can also request for a meshmate in the general channel. So you're welcome to reach out to meshmates if you have doubts about layer 5. And then looking at the overview, most of our projects have singular websites and some of them run on Jekyll, whereas others run on Gatsby. You're going to see the meshry.io, which runs on Jekyll. On this website, you're going to find everything and anything you need to know about Meshry, the documentation, how to set up Meshry, and the community behind Meshry. So you can check out this if you want to install Meshry on your device or you have any questions regarding Meshry and yes, and the project that and the platforms which Meshry is supported on. So you can see every questions regarding Meshry, and if this is not enough for you, you can still drop a question on the Meshry Slack channel. Also, if you want to look for other ways to contribute to the project, this is also the guide here. So we'll still look at that in the later on this minute, but the next is the meshrydocs.io. This also runs in Jekyll. You can look at this at your own time, but this basically is just documentation for Meshry, and it's also runs in Jekyll. So you don't need to be an expert in React or TypeScript or JavaScript or whichever language. Just have simple understanding or the basic understanding of Git and GitHub, how to create a pull request, and that's just it. You can contribute to all of this project, especially the ones on Jekyll. So if you have or encounter any problems while doing this, you can reach out to the meshmate and we'll be there to help you. Then we have the smp.io, which also run on Jekyll. Find out the questions and clear that regarding this project in the documentation written down here. You can also join the Slack channel, ask your questions on there. Then the Get Hub project, which is a budding project community. This project needs a lot of hands, and Aditya is one of the maintainers. So good thing we have him with us today. He give us a briefing on this project. So you can find out about this on the web, on the repositories, but then I'm sure Aditya will help us with that later on. You can also check out the project description and see what the project is all about. I assure you it's a very great place to start. Then the Layer5.io website itself, which runs on Gatsby, and also you don't need to be an expert in React or Gatsby to actually contribute to this project. You just need to understand how to use Git and GitHub, and I'm not joking about that. So if you're going through this, you're going to see everything about Layer 5 basically can be found on this website. If you want to find out about our project, you can look through this and you'll see all the projects that go on in Layer 5. And then the Learn section, which has the books regarding Meshry and service meshes, and also the workshops. You can explore this at your own time. This is the way to look at this. Some of these are very, very really useful resources that would really help you understand the project and our community as well. Then we have the Service Mesh Lab. So if you want to take a quick run through on how service meshes and Meshry work, you can look at the lab and learn a bit about that. Then you can also check out the community sections, do what to subscribe to our calendar so you get notified whenever any meeting comes up, in case you don't get a reminder via Slack. So who wants to subscribe to the calendar, and then you'll see our members profile. If you notice, almost everyone or anyone you see in this meeting has a profile here, and that's because they have been consistent to their contributions and they earn these badges or their profiles on here. So your pages or your pictures also have a chance of getting on our members profile. And we issue out badges to each of the contributors, depending on how dedicated you are to which project exactly. So you can see the badges for Mesh3 operator, the service mesh performance, Get Hub, and the meshmates and maintenance badges. So all of these are up for takes, and they're waiting for you to grab them. So you can also check out the events that go on in the Layer5 community, the ones that are forthcoming and the ones that have already passed. You can also check out that on the event section. And then we have our community handbook. Yeah, so if you need a quick run through on what Layer5 is all about, this is actually an ongoing project. So you're welcome to drop your thoughts and inputs about this, but I'm sure you can get very useful resources about Layer5 and our projects, the community pathways, everything and all that you need to know about Layer5 can be found in the community handbook. And if you have any thoughts towards improving these, any suggestions, you can also create an issue or bring it up on the website meeting on Mondays, and we'll discuss this. Okay, that is just about the project. I'll rush up now, so Aditya can give us these very interesting tutorials. And then talking about tutorials, the next point is tutorials. We have a lot of tutorials on our Ctl sites. You can check this out if you want to get an in-depth knowledge on Mesh3 and service meshes. There are lots of courses under this and get to learn more about the project. Yeah, so explore this at your own time. And also, aside this, we have other recordings that are available on the community page. On the newcomers, you'll see that listed out there. These ones were mostly recorded during our calls, just like this one, and separately. So you can find the recordings for each of these and the slides that go along with it. If you have any questions regards this, you can reach out to the persons who actually created them as well for a deeper or a better explanation if you need help with that as well. Okay, and that is just about the tutorials. We have our project overview. You can look at this, see everything, our front-end projects, back-end project, whichever one that best suits your interest. You can look at the project overview and you'll see one that fits your interest. So Layer5 projects span across 4 GitHub orgs currently. And we have the layer5.io org, we have the service mesh performance org, we have the Mesh3 org, and then the service mesh patterns. So all of these projects are still projects of Layer5. So if you're contributing to just one of it, you're definitely contributing to Layer5. And if you're contributing to all, great thing, you're still contributing to Layer5. So you're welcome to explore all of this. If you have questions, we still have the same Slack channel, so you can ask questions right there. Then you look at the front-end projects and check out the repositories for each of these and look for a place to get your hands busy. If you notice, you'll see that most of them run on Ctl, React, Gatsby, so you don't have to be an expert in code or none of that to actually contribute. You can also contribute to our documentation. Just join the blog kitchen on Slack and ask any questions you need about writing documentations or writing blog posts for Layer5. Then we have the backend project. You can look at the repositories for this and create issues, fix issues, play around with it generally. Yeah, and I think I'll stop talking now and give it over to Aditya to take us through working with Mesh3 docs and Ctl. So thank you, and over to you, Aditya.
Yeah, thanks, Anita. So let me share my screen first of all. So I hope the screen is visible. Let me hide my meeting controls so that I can start presenting right away. All right, so let me just minimize this if possible. All right, so hello folks, and first of all, welcome to Layer 5 and thanks for joining in. So this tutorial will be about working with Mesh docs and Jekyll. So this is me. Actually, I'm a contributor and a part of the documentation team. So I will help you folks guide how to contribute to the Mesh docs section and why we are using Jekyll in this section actually. Let me turn on my laser pointer first of all so that I can show quick. So yeah, before diving into the topic, so could anyone unmute and say, because I would like some interaction. Don't worry, it's not just a class. I will help you out. So could you guys, any one of you answer like why we need a documentation for a project, or is documentation a really need a source to seek help? So if documentation doesn't exist, what will happen? So did any of you thought about this? Like, we are working on a software project. Why we need documentation first of all?
To onboard new people, I guess.
A part of it correct. Okay, that's a nice part of answer. Thanks, Lakshya, for answering it. So what if I told you that actually the information about the project you seek is in the documentation itself? So that's why documentation comes in a part. So documentation is really necessary. But why? First and foremost point is that it's your real best friend to rely on any kind of situation when you get any problem with the project or explore any new features. So the second point is that it helps newcomers like you guys to understand more about the project in detail. And it also provides materials that you can reference on a topic or any instructions to troubleshoot your problems on a project. And it makes the information really accessible to the users and much more. It's not limited to those points. So after seeing this, now you'd be thinking like, all right, documentation is really an excellent field to work on any project. So without further ado, I would like to say about a few points on Mesh docs. So the project Meshery, which is a part of Layer 5, has already a documentation website, as Anita said, so which is help to create, to help you refer about the project, explore features, instructions to troubleshoot, and many more. So this is the link for the website, https://docs.meshery.io. So one sec, so I will show the yeah, this is the documentation page you are looking on. So this is actually documentation page. You can see like many instructions, tutorials, and events like instructions to install Meshery on any kind of Kubernetes cluster or even Docker or on any platform like Windows, and some guides and references to refer on, and some functionality, and so on. So as I shown you on that live, this is the screenshot of the Meshery docs page. So if you want really interested to contribute to the Meshery docs, you are welcome. You can start even contributing even right now via the docs directory in the Meshery repo. So for your information, this is the link given here for easy access, or else what you can say, if you go to a Meshery repo, you would find the documentations, folders, and files over here, this docs. And after that, you can see those files here. That's where you'd be contributing towards the Meshery docs, actually. Sorry for exiting in and between, but just to show for clarity, that's why. I will just hide meeting controls here. But hold on, but you need a few things to be known before contributing to the docs. What are those? Before contributing, you might ask this silly question: what programming language or framework I should know to work on the message docs? Is it JavaScript or is it Ruby? Well, actually, the answer is Jekyll. Yes, you heard it right, the Jekyll. So a quick overview on Jekyll, like a Jekyll is a static site generator, mainly written using Ruby. So it's a popular static site generator. You could see its uses in many websites, thanks to the adoption by the GitHub. So if you ask like, do I need to learn and code in Ruby to work with a Jekyll? Absolutely no. How? So the key feature is that you can create a site using plain markdown files and even liquid templates. That's subject to it, but mainly you can work using markdown files, and after that Jekyll takes care of the rest to render the site. Actually, what you've seen in the documentation site is mainly created using markdown files, and if you have created some, then leave the Jekyll to the rest, so it will render the site easily. So, but do we need Ruby to install the Jekyll? Yes, you need to install Jekyll via Ruby alone. But how? Don't worry. So it's now for the live demo time. So I'll be sharing this other screen here. So if you are using the Measure repo with any code editor, you might need to work. There are a few points to tell before that. So if you want to work on Jekyll, as said before, you need Ruby to install, because Jekyll is can be installed via Ruby. But if you don't have Ruby to install, that's not an issue. You can even use Docker to install the Jekyll image to render the site. So I'm not going through the Docker way of method here. So I will be showing like how to work with Jekyll through the way of Windows. So here I'm actually working in the Windows PowerShell, but due to some limitations, like there are some few points like GNU make. GNU make, please note this, like GNU make works only better with Linux or Mac OS or any kind of Unix operating system, and doesn't work much on Windows. If you want to work on Windows, then you need to go to this folder like cd space docs. Just a second. It gives a little bit of time over here to render. All right, the docs file is here. So if you want to work on Jekyll directly using Ruby by installing Ruby on the Windows, then you would be typing this command like bundle exec Jekyll. Sorry for a spelling mistake. Jekyll sir. So this is a command you would be using if you want to work Jekyll directly on the Windows. Or else, if you have any Linux or Mac OS or any kind of bash terminal like WSL, which is also called as Windows Subsystem for Linux, then it would be a bit easy. So if you want to say like, I want to render the site first so that I can see and work on the changes, then you need to type on the command like make site. The make file contains the set of instructions that you can work on, so it will take off the rest. So you need to give this command like make with argument called site. But if you it will take care of it. But if you see here, like at the first glance, you would see here that I've installed Ruby, that's fine, but I have this Ruby version 2.7.0, but your gem file specified 2.7.1. Where did I make that error? It's fine, like everyone will, what you can say, come to this error. It's natural, because like if you have used JavaScript, then it's pretty obvious that whatever version you use, it will take care and it will automatically update. But if in the case of Ruby, it's not, because it will, what you can say, consider the static versions of the Ruby version you have alone. So if it is 2.7.1, then you need to have Ruby 2.7.1 alone and not beyond any other versions like above those versions like Ruby 3.0 and much more. So in order to fix this error, there are 3 kinds of ways. Number 1, installing the required Ruby version through any site managers like RVM and RBENB. So I will just, I hope the screen is still visible so that you can ask questions at the last of the tutorial. That's not an issue. So this is one kind of Ruby installation manager called as RVM, and you can use it on any kind of Linux or Mac OS, mainly on Unix operating systems. And you can install through the instructions here and set the, you can install any Ruby version on it. Why I'm saying so? Because like if you are installing Ruby through like, say, then actually the package managers like apt and Ubuntu, they don't have like the latest versions which you can see it right here. So in order to install the required Ruby versions, you need actually these installation managers. One such is rvm.io. It's free. And another one, if you are handled into an error, say like I couldn't have run RVM successfully and I'm getting errors, no worries at all. There is another like installation manager for Ruby called as RBNB. I'm also using that. It's pretty much fine. You can also, it can be installed in any kind of Unix operating systems, and there will be some instructions to install it and install the required version of Ruby. So I would be using this right now in the tutorial. So say I need to change this Ruby version to 2.7.1 instead of 2.7.0. So let me toggle the screencast mode so that it will be easy. RBENB space local. I have already installed these, what you can say, the Ruby version, so that I'm setting up here 2.7.1. Now you can notice here there will be a new file change occur like say Ruby version. And if I give make site, then it would take some time to compile the files and then to give the render on the site. If you are using the full-fledged Unix operating system like Linux or Mac OS, then you can experience the live reload feature. Since I'm using WSL, the live reload feature is not supported here. So it may take some time to compile, and it will take at most a minute to configure these files and then show the output. And after compiling, the same output will be displayed here. So let us wait for a minute or two so that I can show the output, how it looks like. So before that, I will explain like what are all the folders present here under the docs directory. So if you have gone through the docs directory, you would see some folders like adapters, _data, _includes. You can ask, what are those? So if you're working directly on the doc side, you need, you can see like there are like inside it, there are some like pages like architecture pages for machinery architecture. Then for platforms, like you can see separate installation platforms for say AKS or EKS and much more. Still compiling. Yeah, okay. So where how would I work with those pages? So if you want to work with those pages, there will be a folder called as pages. If you can see here, I hope you can see my cursor movement here, pages. Inside that, you can see many kinds of like subfolders and files, such as concepts and yeah, even the architecture. Okay, it's opening. So the what you can say, the page has been compiled and it's ready to host on the localhost port 4000. Live reload will not work for me, but for you guys, I hope it will work. Then this is the what you can say. You can start working on locally with the measure docs. Same, it will be the same as output what you are seeing here. It's just a replica of it, and but running in local. So as said a minute before, like you can work on the pages. If you want to work on the pages, then you can click on these pages and you can start working on it. If you want to work on architecture, then you can see that if you open, as you can say, as I said, like it is made up of mostly markdown files. So if you have opened the markdown file on any of the page, you would come across this. Hey, what is this, Aditya? It's like some kind of a configuration file over here. And after that, the markdown is appearing here. What is this? So this section is actually made, is type of a section called as YAML. That is YAML. If you can go through it, you would know what it is. It's like a data file such that Jekyll knows what kind of data is it, such that it would render the site so that with permanent permalink, this permalink you are seeing here, like the architecture, you are seeing this link, right? So that will be mentioned over here. And if there is any redirect you want to click from, you can give it from name over here and the type of that page. And if you want to give any abstract, this is entirely optional, but if you want, you can give, it's not a matter. And you should mention what type of language is it. So it's present in English, so or you can type it as English or just EN. That doesn't matter here. And the list. You should need to sometimes include this file over the list such that Jekyll will know how it should compile, what are the files to include. Then after the section, you would come across the standard markdown procedure. I hope you know the syntax for basic markdown or GitHub flavored markdown. If no, not an issue, you can just find resources on the net and start working on. So this is about the concept of pages. Then you can see other pages like the markdown files and so on. Now, if you see like, you can also see like inside the markdown, you could see some of the syntaxes like here's like for loop or like this one. These are all the some of the syntaxes in which Jekyll will know. So that if you want to render up, say you have a data file, you have a list of some kind of array in it, and you need to go through it instead of typing the whole array sequentially in the markdown. So Jekyll helps you in this case so that you can, what you can say, create data by extracting data files from here. So if you are said like, sorry, post. Okay, the post is not here for now. But if you have said like you have any data files, say in the data, just for consider an example, then you can say set it up a for loop over here with the limit size 10. And within the code block, you can, what you can say, if you want to render markdown, and you can give it over here. This one is compilation of the data. If you have any set of data over here and select any kind, then you need to give within this two brackets, like for loop and this one, sometimes you need to give syntaxes like with curly braces and the percentage symbol, or else with the double braces. You would occurs some, but by practice, you would get to know more about it. Then coming on to, as I said, like a minute before, like to extract some markdown files will have some what you can see, a data called as YAML, such that Jekyll knows what to extract and all. Same way, you can use a YAML. Here in Measure project, we use YAML so that if there is any such data, so it can render it very easily. So I will take an example, just a quick example, like Measure Ctl Commands. Sorry for the just give me a moment. The pages. Yeah, here it is. Measure Ctl auto commands. Measure Ctl commands. Points exiting. I will open over here so that for comparison it would be better for you guys to. Okay. So I hope you can see these two files over here. I've opened one file called Ctl Commands.md. Another is called as cmds.yml. YML is another form of YAML. So I will say how this works, like this and that. Just a quick overview. So say if you want to fetch data from a YAML file, and then you need to fetch it over to this and render over to this markdown file. Like I need to fetch data from YAML to here. So there is some procedure here, like same like a programming language. You need to fetch the data from here, and so you need to use some kind of variables to reference this data file over here. So I'm assigning a variable called as command1 with data referencing from site.data. You can ask, what is site.data? I'm seeing just only the cmds.yml over here. Basically, Jekyll, if you are fetching data from YAML file, you need to specify a folder called as _data, as you can see here, and site is like a global. From the site, you need to fetch data from it, and from the data folder, there will be a folder called as Ctl Commands, and from it, you need to fetch a file called as cmds, as you can see here, and from the cmds, you need to fetch a section called as global. It would be fine if I just shrink over here. So if I just mention this, Jekyll will fetch like this particular section over here from line number 1 to line number 31. If you have used or worked through the GitHub CI or GitHub Actions, you would be probably knowing about this, like the indentation part. I hope that you may know, but same way it applies here, like you need to give some spaces and keys over here such that reference to reference that. So cmd command1.name, so it will instead of this one, it will fetch like name and replace it with the value called as Measure Ctl. Same way with description, this one here. And if you are, say, having multiple fields over the data file and you need to compile over here, then you can use the command called as flags. Sorry, not flags. You can use a for loop over here and reference with a field which has multiple kinds of over it. And then it will fetch over here. So don't forget that if you have created a for loop, you need to end over here. Otherwise, if you have made to run Jekyll, then Jekyll would throw an error like there is no end tag for loop. You will experience if you didn't give this tag over here. So just mind it. And then what else to say? It's just a quick reference. And there is also some kind of files like includes. Say includes are like just quick overview here, and I'm not dragging up big. So if you are saying like unique you know about iframes in HTML, right? So this is same concept like that. So if you want to include a web page or within the web page, like say a frame within a frame, then you can use include syntax over here and include every files over it. So here we are using the HTML files with some division and script tags, basically for some tutorials or like headers. You might know that. So I'll open an example. So I'm giving like it called as app mesh, then giving syntax like percentage include adapter status.html. So Jekyll will include that particular section of code and replace it all over here while rendering. So I'll just show here and then adapter app mesh. Correctly under construction. Yeah, okay, here it is. So if you are seeing here that you can ask, where did this table come from? I couldn't see here in the, what you can say, anything from that markdown file. It's because that it's being fetched from the file called as adapter status.html from, yeah, here it is, adapter status.html. And what kind of fields you give it in the markdown or YAML, it will just, Jekyll will take care of that. And then it will replace the variables over here. And accordingly, the output is produced. So other than the include files and all, yeah, that's it to say. So just 2 minutes, like if you have finished contributing to the docs and want to add changes, then you need to get same stages like git add the hyphen capital A or dot your wish. Since I have not included any changes, I'm not giving it right now. And if you are committing, make sure that I will maximize the terminal so that you can see it. Git commit -s -m. You might already know this if you have contributed to the Meshery or any kind of Layer5 projects. Why we use like -s over here? This is a standard rule of Layer5 or contributing to any Layer5 projects or even Meshery, such that we have a DCO check called as Developer Certificate of Origin, so that the commits made are uniquely made by you. I will open a pull request which I made over here. Yeah, this is a document I made actually. For example, I'm just giving. This is a pull request which I made on the documentation side for adding examples. And if you see here, this statement is very important. So to produce this statement, you need to do like -s, such that it will just create the sign-offs and you would pass the DCO check here. If you didn't give this -s, then the DCO check will report an error, and don't worry, but the DCO bot will help you how to sign off your commits if you have made such mistakes. And after committing, you can just push on to your fork repo. I hope you guys, you might know that. I'm leaving that to you. And that's the end of the live demonstration. So if you want to have resources like for documentation, I want to work on the Jekyll or YAML, or have like Ruby installation managers, here are those resources over here. This for Jekyll, this for YAML. YAML for this is not the only resource limited over here. You can search it on Google. There are many tutorials regarding it. And I will mention some of the two Ruby installation managers, which I said over here, RVM and RBENP. And after installing the required components, what you need to do is, like, you can follow these steps. You can try running Meshery and try to set up a development environment, and you can try exploring. Like, you need to explore before any contributing to an issue and fixing any issue. That would be very much easier, and you need to look at the docs. And you can report us and open an issue like there is an error over here, and you can, and after analyzing, we will assign you and you can start working on it. So that's a bit the tutorial, and thank you. And before ending up, are there any questions? Ask now or forever hold your peace. Or you can ask questions in the Slack channels also. That's fine if you want. Is there any questions before we wind up, or?
Okay.
There's any aren't any, then it's great. Oh, there are chats.
Great job, Aditya. That was a nice section. I learned a lot. I think I had issues with JK like the first 1 month of contributing to this project as well. And I had a lot of issues actually on the side, especially installing Ruby. It was a big deal for me, but I finally got it in the end. So thank you for this.
Yeah, everyone handles that error and it will get over practice with it. To be honest, I also made an error with the Ruby and struggled 2 days how to fix that error, and approach with some of the contributors, and they helped me out. And here I am. Now I'm teaching tutorials for you guys.
Okay, so that's what contributing actually does for you. If you have any questions towards ask Aditya or any of the meshmates or anybody in the Slack channel generally, someone will definitely give you a perfect answer. And if you want to learn more about Aditya, more help regards this, so much once again. And I just want to meshmate is second mesh. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, Anita, your voice is breaking.
Okay. Yeah, so as I was saying, a meshmate is let's say you had an angel, so they're there to listen to what you have to say, take your suggestions, your thoughts, your questions, clear your doubts about any aspect of the community that you're having difficulties understanding, and also provide you with every resources in the layer 5. So they're called meshmates because they probably, they have a better understanding of the community and its project. So they put in charge of that title to help you out in any ways that you would need help or assistance. So if you need help, you can quickly just reach out to any of the meshmates. They'll definitely give you a listening ear. So that was a great session from Aditya. I learned a lot. I hope you did too. Thank you so much, Aditya, once again. And to wrap it up, let's look at the last point on the meeting minutes. So this section, as well as every call and every meeting at all in the Layer 5 community, is all recorded. And this I kept on our YouTube channel as treasures. So if you like to go video to and catch up any points that you miss, the forthcoming I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining the Layer 5 community and I hope to see more of your contributions. If you check the top here, you see quick resources to help you get started. You can look at the Slack channel if you're not in Slack already. Look at the Google Drive for all the resources that are available. Then you can check the First Timers Welcome Guide if you haven't gone through that already and you're having difficulties creating your first issues or your pull requests rather. And also the repository overview, which we looked at earlier. Then if you're looking for good first issues, this is the perfect place to find those. There's some of them listed out here. And even if there's a comment on it already, you're welcome to question the status of that particular issue if it's available, and it could be reassigned to you as well. So there are quite a number of issues that are still open here. You can check them and comment underneath it, so someone will assign them to you. Then look at the help wanted issues as well for issues that are actually available. And then, okay. Yeah, so there are quite a number of issues that are actually available here, although some of them look like there are comments underneath it, but they're not assigned. So you can check out these issues and take them up as you continue journey through Layer5. Thank you so much. You can check out this Twitter and LinkedIn platforms. Do what to like, follow, and tag us on each of these platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, so you can get updated on our treasures. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you everyone for making it to today's meeting. Don't forget, tomorrow we have the general community meeting and everyone in the community is going to be there. So it'll be a perfect opportunity to, introduce yourself in grand style. Don't forget, tomorrow I'll drop a reminder in Slack. Do well to join us tomorrow as well. Thank you so much and have a nice day. Bye everyone.
Bye, Anita.